What is up, you guys? It is your boy Brent Biggers here, and welcome to another video. Sorry. Uh, in today's video, we are going to be doing the divisions ranked video. It's been a while since I've done any of these videos where I'm ranking the divisions and stuff. So, yeah, not sponsored. Not sponsored. I don't know why I even had my water bottle to begin with. I should have paused. Sorry about that. But yeah, we're going to be ranking the divisions of the NFL. It's been a while since I did one of these videos. And honestly, I'm also very dry on content right now. That was a weird voice crack. Jesus, what is up today? Um, so yeah, I'm very dry on content currently. Kind of just waiting for June to come around so then that new series can come out and also the Brent Bigger's Fun whatever. But before we get today's video, like and subscribe. We are on the road to getting to 600 subscribers. We're actually very close, which is kind of surprising to me. We're already almost there. We potentially maybe get it by the end of the school year. Possible. I mean, we still have, what, like 2 weeks? So maybe. I doubt it, but you never know. Try to get maybe at least 590 maybe by the end of school year, but I guess. But anyways, guys, enough said. Let's get into the video. And starting off with the worst team in the or worst division, in the NFL, we have the NFC South. I mean, come on, is this really that obvious? Honestly, there is really no team I think can contend for a playoff spot in literally any other division except the Buccaneers. Maybe they have the only chance, but again, I still highly doubt that they could even make a run for anything in general. So let's talk about all the teams, shall we? So we have the Carolina Panthers, which are still in a rebuild, the Saints, which are going to be in a rebuild, and the Falcons. Well, they're the Falcons. It doesn't seem like they're going up or down anywhere. So yeah, and the Bucks, like I just said, are probably the only team that can actually make a playoff run, at least out of any team in the NFC South. But at the same time, this team still has a lot, and I mean a lot of holes. Like, I have question marks on their offensive line, their defensive line, their corners, safeties. You get the idea. This division is just awful, period. And speaking of the South, we got the AFC South next on the list. Now, this division isn't quite as bad because honestly, I could see any of these teams being playoff contenders. But just like the NFC South, I don't see any of them being a serious playoff contender. And really, I can't see them being that good outside of their division as well. Like, again, Jacksonville Jaguars, they kind of been in a rebuild for a while now, honestly. And we thought it was done in 2022, but we were wrong. Tennessee, they are in a rebuild. Indianapolis, they may have a new quarterback next year. And Houston, they're kind of like the Bucks, but I think maybe even slightly worse because their offensive line is major concerns. And honestly, their defense does have some concerns as well, and some of the receivers' health. So overall, like, it's just like this division, it's not bad in particular. Like, none of these teams I would specifically say are bad, but none of these teams are particularly good either. And then we got the number 16 on our list. I think it makes sense to put the AFC East next on the list. The Bills are really the only people that can honestly contend for the Super Bowl. And outside of that, you have playoff teams at best. And maybe my next pick, which I'll talk about later, you may disagree with, but at least these teams have higher ceilings, unlike literally probably every team in this division. Like the Patriots, yeah, they do have a chance to make it to the playoffs technically, but making an actual playoff run is so doubtful. Same thing with the Jets. The Dolphins, if this team could just stick together and win the division, eventually, the Bills are like the only team that actually have serious playoff push aspirations, which is going to be really, really concerning. And honestly, it kind of just feels like the AFC East is just like, hey, you got one superpower team, and then the rest are kind of just mid at best. And then we got the next team on the list, which is the NFC West. Yeah, none of these teams are particularly Super Bowl contenders, but at least this division have two technically playoff run teams. that could definitely go for a decent playoff run, like the Rams and the Niners, for example. And the Seahawks and Cardinals, they're both playoff contenders, and I don't think that's even a question. Yeah, sure, like the Rams, they're not like Super Bowl contenders, and I'm saying that because they're the best team in the NFC West. Like me on that one. But it's just like this team just has some concerns, like I said, to making them actually playoff contenders. Like again, their secondary is one of the biggest concerns I personally have. And it's just, can this defense make those clutch moments? Is gonna be a very big interesting question mark. And will the offense, not catch up with age? Because guess what? You have Davante Adams and Matthew Stafford, who are both over 30. And you have also Tyler Higbee, who's over 30. Like, you kind of have to, think about that for a minute. Like, will Davante Adams stay the same? Will Tyler Higbee stay healthy? Will Matthew Stafford stay healthy? These teams have question marks. Same with the Niners. They have a lot of question marks, too. Seattle, they're just banking on if Sam Darnold could just be what the Vikings form, minus the playoffs Week 18 edition of Sam Darnold. And then you have the Cardinals, which you're kind of banking on hoping Josh Sweat, Walter Nolan, and Darius Robertson can make a devastating pass rush attack. And hoping your offense drastically improves and Kyler Murray finally has that breakout season. There's just a lot of ifs in this division, and it's honestly nothing but concerning. Then we have the next team on our list, and I have the AFC North next on the list. Ravens, they're Super Bowl contenders if they can just win a playoff game, which they seem very difficult to do past the wild card. I don't know why. This team just seems to just lose most of the time in the AFC divisional round, and especially in the AFC Championship game. But this team is already good. The rest of the teams are interesting, at least. Yes, the Browns are not a great team, but at best, they're a mediocre team, which some teams I can't even probably say that, honestly. The Bengals, it's super weird with the Bengals. They have one of the best offenses in the league, but they also have one of the worst defenses in the league. And Pittsburgh, they're usually a 9-8 team every year. So it's just like, what else do I have to say? You do have a couple playoff teams and then also a Super Bowl contending team. But the one thing that probably does drag this division back a little bit is definitely the Browns. Then the next, and I'm pretty sure this is the third-ranked division, we have the NFC East next on the list. I mean, you do have the Eagles that are Super Bowl contenders and the Commanders who are conference runner-ups. But outside of that, you kind of don't have much in the division. Like the Giants, yeah, I do see them improving this year. And that's weird to say because this team still have a lot of holes, especially on offense. And then you have Dallas Cowboys, which, well, they are a complete mess. And right now they're just a mediocre team. Because you do have good players like Micah Parsons, CeeDee Lamb, and Dak Prescott. But you don't have really anything else outside of that. And I guess DeRon Bland as well and to Trayvon Diggs. But again, this team has a lot of question marks. And will Dante Fowler or Tyler Smith, like all these big players that you expected to play well, will they actually do well since they're acquiring a George Pickens? Then you got the second team on the list, and it's the AFC West. If I was ranking off coaches, this is easily number one. Like, you have Andy Reid, who's a Hall of Famer, Sean Payton, who's a Hall of Famer, Jim Harbaugh, who's a Hall of Fame coach, and Pete Carroll. And actually, funny enough, all of these coaches have won a NCAA championship or a Super Bowl in their careers. It's kind of crazy to say that. And it's also during the century, or you could even say during the 2010s or later. So it's very interesting. It's just the only thing that holds them back is the Raiders, because the Raiders, they're just kind of a mediocre team right now, and they're not really close to being a playoff contending team. When you have players like Geno Smith at quarterback, for example, you're not going anywhere. Like, you may go to a playoff spot, but that's kind of about it. But then the rest of these three teams, I could definitely see them either winning their division or maybe going to a Super Bowl appearance. The Chiefs, well, they're the Chiefs. Everybody knows that this team is already a Super Bowl contender without doubt. The Chargers could be a very sneaky playoff team heading into this year and potentially winning the division, and also hopefully don't choke in the wild card round, which is what they've been doing as of recently. And the Broncos, who have an elite defense, which should be able to stop a lot of big units and have, maybe an extra couple of playmakers on offense. So you kind of do see that this division seeing some sign of life of basically any team can be a Super Bowl contender, but it's very interesting to say the least. Then the last team, and this is our last division, which doesn't come to a shocker to anybody, is the NFC North. Not only that you have two teams that are Super Bowl contenders in the Packers and the Lions, but you have two teams that could potentially be serious playoff contenders, and Bears and Vikings. Now you're like, what? Bears and Vikings? Let me state clear. And JJ McCarthy does have a great year as a rookie quarterback. Quotations because he's technically a sophomore. He could potentially get them at least a playoff win. The Bears, they're definitely playoff contenders this year, and they could definitely make a serious playoff run. Obviously, I don't see these teams making it to a Super Bowl this year, but they're definitely big playoff threats. Something I can't say with any team in the division. At the bare minimum, this is probably what the division's going to look like. You have 7-10, 7-10 Bears and Vikings. Then you have like a 9-8 Packers and like a 12 or 11-6 record Lions. That is probably the highest I could probably say for any team or any division. Why do I keep saying team? Out of the entire just divisions in the NFL. And it's pretty crazy. And if you really want to make a case of why the NFC North isn't the best division, I really, really want to know. Like, I think outside of the AFC West, I don't really see there's an actual case to behold that, well, the NFC North is not the toughest division in football. And at least the toughest division in the NFC. I just don't really see any team that can really make a stand to that division, especially in their conference. But anyways, guys, hope you guys enjoy. Also, happy Labor Day, because by the time I upload this video, it is Monday Labor Day. So this video would come out probably earlier than usual, like it being uploaded at 12 rather than 3 p.m. because of holidays and etc. But anyways, hope you guys enjoy. Peace.